Get through this video without a call coming through on my phone. I thought I'd make a little tech tip video about electronics, transistors in general. Maybe somebody is not aware of you know, heat properties and stuff like that of these high current transistors. Might be a little help to make these things last a little longer anyways. What this is a 30 amp rated 100 volt power transistor. It's a Darlington pair. It's rated, anyway, 30 amps. It's rated for 150 watts, I believe. And it's dead because the blower motor, which this was attached to, dead shorted, obviously caused probably die failure almost instantly. This little tech tip won't help that sort of, you know, we won't prevent this failure when something like that happens, but it should extend the life of these rather expensive parts. You can see the back of these higher current, higher value, dollar value anyway, transistors are nice and shiny on the back of the die for really good heat dissipation to the heatsink media. It's rated for 150 watts at a certain junction thermal resistance level. So the better you can make the thermal junction, the better. So heatsink compound obviously helps because it fills all the microscopic crevices and stuff that are on these. But anyway, I'll show you what the heatsink material looked like. You can see it was just a piece of milled aluminum, fairly rough. So stuff like this increases the thermal junction resistance, and obviously decreases the amount of current capability that this can withstand without failing. Over time, the heatsink compound starts to dry up and fail, and then what usually ends up happening is they just fry. So what I've done here, as you can see, I didn't show you on before, is polish this heatsink to a nice, beautiful shine. This reduces the thermal resistance of this a huge amount, and should allow me to more closely go to the limit, the absolute limits in which these were rated for. So this one, in which case this is 30 amps. So, you know, by doing something like this, it should be able to handle 30 amps in a more stable way. Every piece of aluminum heatsink can be shined like this. It's not incredibly difficult to do. You just need to start with maybe like a 400 or a 600 grit on like maybe a granite countertop, something very, very flat. Or perhaps a piece of glass. Start with the 600 grit, then go to your 1000, and then I stopped at 1500. After I got to 1500, it was a very flat but matte finish. I then went up into the car stuff, and I got some medium compound and a rag and buffed that in there until it was a little bit shinier. And then after it was nice and shiny, I finished it off with a little bit of this, Meguiar's aluminum polish. Quick little buff with that. It takes all the aluminum oxide off, protects it, and then gives it this nice, beautiful shine. So yeah, when this transistor comes in the mail, the new one, this one's obviously dead, it should have a little bit easier of a life. The fact that it has a less resistive thermal junction to dissipate its thermal load too. So yeah, just a little tech tip on your transistors and heat sinks. So yeah.